Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the live lunch break concert series. My name is Rick Coster. We're streaming at theday.com, and of course, that's coming at you live from the Telegraph record shop here in downtown New London. Beautiful summer day on June the 1st. We are privileged today to have with us from Brooklyn / New Haven / someplace we won't say. Fair enough. This is Olive Tiger. Typically, Olive Tiger would have beyond Olive also Dane and Jesse, but today it's going to be a solo episode, and y'all's debut album, Until My Body Breaks, will be out on the Telegraph Records label on July 8th, so I hope we're going to hear some material from that today, as well as other stuff. What Olive does with a guitar and a cello and a vast array of electronics in conjunction with Dane and Jesse, and sometimes without, is pretty amazing. I think you guys are going to really like this. So please say hello to Olive Tiger.
Of all my useless alibis, of all my promises to God, I'm still on some byway, stepping out on this highway without so much left or a right. Next time you ask me if I'm alright, take a good look in my eyes. Wonder if then you could see all the truest parts of me bursting underneath the phrase I'm fine. Nothing can bring me down. Nothing can pick me up. Nothing can bring me down. Dust to stars and stars to dust, said the storm made man. Rest assured, all wood hearts will soon enough be sad. Whoa, 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 oh, oh. Said the storm made me rest I play a couple things here. I was going to switch to the cello until later, but I decided to not do that. How's everybody doing?
Yay.
Thanks for coming by on your lunch break. And thanks so much for having me. So, yes, we do have a record coming out this summer, July 8th, and we're super excited. Right now there's a single and a premiere out. So this next one is going to be the first single that we released, which is called Find Myself. Baby, no, you'll be so bad for me, bad for me, bad for me, bad. But you make me feel weak in the knees, but go weak in the knees. Can't you see what you do to me, do to me? You have me true every time that I find myself within you. You'll be so bad for me, bad for me, bad for me, bad. But you make me feel weak in the knees, but go weak in the knees. Can't you see what you do to me, do to me? You have me true every time that I find myself within you. So I asked your name twice already, and I forgot it when you told me. Rick,
Yep,
thank
that's
you.
Peter.
Thank you again so much for having me. It was great. And thanks to Rich, of course, for keeping this wonderful space going. This next tune is not on the record, but I'm going to play it. I don't know why you get yourself tangled up in knots whenever changes come around. And I don't know why you seem surprised, trying to deny silver hair and wrinkled smiles. The babe and the crows swap bottoms and thrones. Round and round they go. Round and round they go. Round and round they go. But I don't know why we get ourselves tangled up in knots, tangled up in knots. And I don't know why we have to fight, tangled up in knots, over which life is most right. I don't know why we cannot live without knowing if life continues when we die. Running around with your nose to the ground. Onward, soldiers now. Onward, soldiers now. Onward, soldiers now. But I don't know why we cannot tell all this fighting is just creating hell. whole damn ride. Thank you. Should I do one more?
Sure.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna play one more song and then we're gonna talk a little bit. What am I gonna play? That's a good question. California is burning while your fingertips are turning blue from the cold that's creeping. Told you heartbreak will blame me. Limb by limb by limb by limb by limb. I am not afraid. I am not afraid. No, 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 I am not drying while your bloodline is rising. Pools gathering in trenches when just now you decide you're breathing out all of your grasping onto life and sound. I am not free.
Olive Tiger, thank you so much. Are you having fun?
Thank you very much. Oh, yes. I love music and
So glad you're here at Live Lunch Break, and thank you guys for sharing it with us on the first day of June. Again, I'm Rick Coster from The Day, and this is Olive, 1/3, but a very important 1/3 of Olive Tiger. And Jesse and Dana are with us today. But watching and listening and enjoying, several musical questions just kept popping into my brain. And so I want to prove what an idiot I am by asking a few of them. And I think when someone plays cello at a fairly young age, I always think intuitively, well, they started playing in elementary school or in grade school, and then maybe the guitar. But watching you play, I almost thought she played guitar before she played cello. Was that wrong?
Yes and no. I think I picked up a guitar before I picked up a cello, but I started actually playing the cello before actually starting to play the guitar.
Okay.
My older brother is also a singer-songwriter, Chris Kiley, and he's so he had a guitar. He's a little older than me, so he had a guitar laying around the house for quite a while before I started playing. But I started playing cello when I was a senior in high school, actually, so fairly late in the game, in the string world. But I really wanted to do it, so I did it. Somehow I got into a college program at Central for cello, and so I started studying pretty intensely at that point in time. But then I went to grad school for music therapy, and that's when I started playing the guitar. We actually had a repertoire class, and our final assignment for the class was to write a song in a style that we had studied. So that was my first songwriting experience, and the experience of creating something where nothing had existed prior, and it's like now this thing exists in the world that just entirely came from your brain was just absolutely an incredible experience to me.
Well, the structures that you played in those first 4 songs blew my mind because they're not very conventional, at least certainly not in a pop songwriting context. And the first thing I wanted to ask you about, at least as far as the guitar is concerned, is the left-hand chord voicings and patterns just aren't what I normally associate. You went to school and studied cello. Are you self-taught on guitar?
Well, I took some classes, like group guitar classes in school. But I think by that point, I was able to skip like the very beginning guitar class because I knew like all the basic chords and stuff because my brother having the guitar around the house. So up until that point, I was like more or less self-taught, but I learned a couple things in the classes. It was good.
And you also shift your rhythm patterns quite a lot in the middle of a song. Is there someone that you listened to as a kid, a songwriter that made you think like that, or is this just all coming out of your feverish brain?
I'm sure I must have been listening to some people growing up that did that, but trying to think of who I listen to now that does it a lot. Bands like the Dodos do that pretty frequently, where like the rhythm kind of stays constant, but the way that they like play with that rhythm changes. Right. So I really like that a lot when as a listener, when you're listening to a song and it takes a sudden turn, but but you're still able to like catch it easily, Right. It's also much easier as a songwriter too if I have a snippet that I'm like, oh, this snippet sounds like it could go with that snippet, then I can kind of like, put them together like a puzzle and make this, and then the song becomes much more interesting than it would have been if I had just expanded on that one idea.
Do you find that you write differently if you're writing on cello than you do guitar, or does a melody or even a lyrical concept occur to you and you think, well, this would be better suited if I worked from the cello perspective, or you got a method?
The method varies depending on the tune. Actually, like sometimes I write a song and there's a particular concept that I'm trying to play with, or like I remember at one point in time I was like, I want to write a song that had the song before the last one. When I had written that one's actually pretty old, but when I first written it, I was like, I want to write a song that has like a long chord progression. Like I just wanted the progression to be like long and just repeating. So like, so that started there. But a lot of times you're right, it does come from like a little snippet of something. And so then at that point I have to decide if it's better suited for the guitar or for the cello. They each have different things that they can do. I think the guitar has a much wider range of colors that you can do outside of a loop context. But the being able to create those colors was part of why I brought the loop into the mix, the looper.
As Olive said, the album comes out July 8th from Telegraph Records. When you were recording, and again, typically Olive would be with two other musicians that do a surprising array of percussion and electronic and classical elements to it. How does it change the context of what you're doing right now without them?
It's kind of nerve-wracking to play without them, actually.
Oh, you seem very assured.
Well, thanks. I don't know. I think personally, when I play, I sort of my brain doesn't have enough space to compute that there's people watching at the same time as like computing what I'm doing. No offense or anything. I love you guys, but I think that also happens within the full band context. But when the guys are with me, we can. I think my bubble is slightly expanded to include them, but yeah, it feels different. I mean, I have a hard time as a performer in general, just like feeling natural, like playing in front of an audience. So like the way that I deal with that is to just I don't know. There's that old thing to like pretend like the audience is in their underwear, and I don't really do that, but I just like pretend like you're not here.
And I'd like to say on behalf of Olive that all of you guys have great underwear. Just kidding. The second tune you did.
Well, you were talking about going down to your waist
yes,
before.
Because it's hot in here, and I wore it was cold when I got up. But.
Yeah, we've already explored the subject of getting in our underwear for this show. So.
The second tune you did when you were looping off of the cello. You went at the end of the song. And by the way, that was just magnificent. How long could you have added 3 and 4 part vocal harmonies and just kept going if you wanted to, for example? Or do you ever do that, or is it you gotta stick with the structure? Or?
Yeah, I do. I'm really. I think with the looper, part of the temptation with the looper is that you can go on forever, and you can get totally lost in it as a musician, and you can totally lose your audience in the process. So I try to be mindful of that, but also I try to use the looper in like a structured kind of way, because I'm still ultimately trying to write a song, and I mean I certainly do have songs where the loop is going. I'll play another one later where the loop is running the whole time and just building, but it's kind of a different approach. So it's different for each song as to like how long the loop is going to run and what's going to be built over that. And I don't have it with me today, but just recently we started incorporating MIDI loops in the computer,
right.
Which is pretty great because it allows us to separate the loops, and so I can like lay one thing and then it can go away and then it can come back later. Whereas I love this looper, but unfortunately it's kind of like the kind of thing where you can lay one loop, but you can't like undo anything. You can't like separate any of the loops within. There's just one, and you can build on top of it as many. You can turn it on and off. You can put it backwards, but it's still just going to be that one loop.
Well, I mean, you have there's always going to be more technology that one has to master and take advantage of it. It sounds terrific.
That's true.
And I wanted to ask you one last question, and then I'll shut up because I know we would all prefer to be listening to you perform. But I'm fascinated. In the cello piece, towards the end, you started doing these sort of runs that had a lot of sustains, a lot of dissonance, almost into feedback. And I wondered, is that something that one understands or pursues in a classical trained program, or were you listening to like King Crimson or bands that explore that sort of thing in a classical / rock context?
No, I totally trudged through my classical training. It was definitely. I mean, I wanted to play the cello, and I loved the sound of the cello, but studying classical music takes a lot of patience and a lot of patience, and it wasn't creatively engaging enough. Because in classical music, it's written on the page like how loud each section is supposed to be, and like there's like a specific way to play it. So I think at least for me, classical training was very good to start to explore different textures that you can use, and for learning the technical side of things. But I wasn't very good at studying, and I wasn't very good at practicing actually, even while I was learning, because I kind of had like musical ADD. So I'd go from before I even picked up the cello. The reason I didn't start until I was 17 was because before that I was playing the piano and the flute and this and that, and switching around instruments so many times. So yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being here again.
I don't think I actually answered your question, though. I'm sorry. That song has never actually come out particularly that way, and every time I'm playing solo, it kind of takes a different turn and sounds slightly different. So usually I just do one vocal loop in the beginning, but I don't know, at that moment I didn't feel like I wanted them to run the whole time, so then I put the ooze down in the beginning, and then the mic was turned up. Regarding the feedback, the mic was just turned up too high, so
it was such a great effect.
It was totally on purpose, yeah.
No. Thank you for being here. This is Olive Tiger. I will now shut up, and you would grace us with a few more tunes. Thank you guys for being with us on Live Lunch Break, and here's Olive.
This next tune I'm going to play is actually a song that's the title track for the record, which is called Until My Body Breaks. Hope you enjoy it. Oh, my love, I can... That's not coming through, is it? It is. Okay. Can you hear that cello okay? Okay, good. Oh, my love, I cannot see your face, but I will love you until my body breaks. So you roam as free as birds and snakes. I will love you until my body breaks. Watch the sea calling out your name as I will love you until my body breaks. Rising high from the dust of days, I will love you until my body breaks. Though we go through many earths and quakes, I will love you until my body breaks. When the world turns and backs away, I will love you until my body breaks. Every sun rises across your face, I will love you until my body breaks. Open eyes and illuminate how I will love you until my body breaks. Lay your head, rest easy in this vow. I will love you beyond what life allows. Thanks. All right, I've got one more. How much more time do we have? Yeah. Okay, I'll play one more, maybe two more. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll do one long one. We'll see. Okay, I'll just get my tuning again real quick. This kind of weather is always a little rough on the strings. Anytime the season is changing, and in New England the season is always changing. Really just like to say that whenever I'm tuning, so it sounds like there's a reason that needs to happen. I wanted to love you and to give you everything, but it was too late. The night you left, I thought I'd go blind from tears, but it was too late. I wanted to love you and to give you all of me, but it was too late. The night you left, I thought I'd go blind from tears, but it was too late. Help me, baby, I'm addicted to the words that fall from your mind. And help me, baby, I can't see whether this is for you. Help me, baby, I'm addicted to the words that fall from your mind. And help me, baby, I can't see whether this is for you. Cause you made me wanted, to love you and to give you all of me, but it was too late. The night you left, I thought I'd go blind from tears, but it was too late. The night you left, I thought I'd go blind from tears, but it was too late. Thanks, everybody. As Rick mentioned, I'm Olive Tiger, one third of Olive Tiger. I'm the olive of Olive Tiger. But But thank you so much for coming into the shop and taking time out of your day to come and listen to some music. I got one more for you. This is a newer one, also not on the record. Well, I should say this one is on the second record. Oh, also there's a mailing list at the front, and I got some T-shirts if you want those too. I'm excited because they're new and they look good. Used to certain tremors all down my spine, and the hazy form of love that I've come to know. Used to certain lovers all down my spine, and the hazy dreams of love we might come to know.
certain tremor all down my spine.
Thank you so much, Olive Tiger. Tremendous. Thank you for being here
Thank you so
on
much for
Live
having
Lunch
me.
Break. July 8th, the album Until My Body Breaks will be out. Will you come back and see us?
Oh, absolutely.
With the other 2/3.
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys being here for Live Lunch Break. Jim Lampos will be here next week. Rich, thanks for having us at the Telegraph. Thanks to Peter for getting it right here in the house. And thanks to you, Olive, because in spite of the fact that nothing but vapor came out of my mouth, you were pretty wonderful. So appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Thank you.